Gotcha. All right. Welcome, everybody. Today we are going to be talking about a concept called stability. We've talked a lot about mobility and how that's important to make sure that we're able to move fully through each movement. We've talked a lot about engaging certain muscles. But one thing we haven't talked a lot about yet is this thing called stability. All right, so basically when we define stability, that is in the most basic sense, it's just having the ability to control how your body moves, whether that just be through daily life or through exercise. All right, why might it be important for us to have stability? All right, think about that for a second. If you think about it, if we're moving everywhere, but we can't control our movements, that's how injuries happen. So if I go to move to the side, but I can't control my knee, and my knee just continues moving, that's how I might get hurt. Or if I go to reach with something with my arm, but I can't control my shoulder well, that could result in an injury as well. So it's really important that we know how to stabilize our body, whether it be to prevent ourselves from moving or to allow us to move so that way we can stay injury free. And today we're going to go over ways that we can practice being stable. All right, the three places where we really want to make sure that we're stable in our body are going to be at our knees, through our spine, and also at our shoulder. Now I'm going to give you some exercises today that we're going to practice to make sure that we are working on our stability at all three of those regions. All right, we're going to start off with our knees. Like we said, if I go to move to the side and I can't stabilize my knee's just going to keep moving. So we want to make sure that we're able to control movements so our knee can stay in place. First thing that we're going to do, let me just make sure I'm going in order here, is we're going to start with just regular squats. All right, when we squat, we should be able to go straight down and straight up without our knee shaking side to side. The best way to do that is you want to think about digging your toes into the ground. So if you have shoes on, let's take our shoes off for this today. Digging your toes into the ground and driving your knees out a little bit so they are staying over my toes. So when I'm coming down and up, my knees should stay in the same place. If I come down and when I come up, my knees come in, I'm not staying stable at my knee. All right, so we're just going to do 5 regular squats here. So we're going to come down, and I want you to pay attention to your knees while you're doing this. So we're going to go down and come back up. Good. Knees, again, like we said, should not be collapsing in at all. That's 2. That's 3. Show you from the side here. 4. And 5. All right. For the most part, not too challenging to keep our knee engaged there properly and not swaying side to side. This is going to become a little bit tougher though, because now we're going to go into our split squat stance. So I'm going to face you so you can see here. Now my balance is being a little bit more involved here, and I got to make sure that I'm incorporating all of the muscles in my leg to keep me stable at my knee. So it's really important to dig through that front toe and push through that heel to turn on your butt. What we're going to do here is I'm going to show you first. You're going to go down and up, and I want you to pay attention to your knee. If your knee is wobbling, you need to think about really squeezing the muscles in your leg more, and I want your knee to just stay in the same spot the whole time. All right, we're going to do 5 on our left leg first. Here we go. Down, up, that's 1. As you can see, I'm okay with your knee going forward and back a little bit, but it should not go side to side. If you see it going side to side, think about pushing that foot into the ground. 1 more. And up. Good. Same thing, this time with our right leg, or if you did your right, do it with your left. So I'm going to push that foot into the ground, get all the muscles tight in my leg, and I'm going to go down and up. If you go down and your knee is shaking, really think about squeezing all those muscles and keeping that in line. 3, 4, and 5. Good. Next one. Reaching single leg deadlift. This is where things get a little bit more complicated. We've done this move before just to remind you of what this move is. If I'm on my left leg, upper body's going to go down reaching forward while my back leg goes up into the air. So I'll be on my left, I'm going to show you, just watch. I'm going to go down, reach, and then stand back up. All right? When you're doing this, it's going to be kind of hard to watch your knee, but I want you to think about your knee. If you watch me while I'm doing this here, I want my leg to stay nice and balanced. If I'm not balanced, this is what it's going to look like. Knee is shaking, okay? Really try to think about keeping that under control. We're going to do 5 on our left and then 5 on our right. All right, so get on that left leg, slight bend in your knee, and now I'm going to bend down Control, come back up. You even have a little wobble there, but that's right, that's why we work on this. Down, and up, that's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good, switch legs. This is also a good way by doing one leg at a time to see maybe you have a knee that hurts a little bit more than the other, and maybe you have one leg that's stronger than the other. And this will be a good way for you to see what leg might need more work. All right, so we're going to switch legs. Going down and up. Oop, lost my balance on the right. Maybe my right one needs more work. Down and up. That's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Hopefully you really were thinking there about squeezing that muscle so that leg doesn't shake as much. All right, I've got 2 more leg exercises for us to go through. We're now going to work on jumping. All right, a big issue I see with people who don't know how to control their knees, when they jump, so when they come down and they come up, their knees go inward and they jump up. This is why people get knee pain, because if you see here, my knees are not over my toes, and so when I jump up, I have nothing to support my knees. If I make sure when I jump though that my knees are always over my toes, that way I'm always going to have my shins underneath me and my feet, and so I'm going to be able to 1, jump higher, but 2, I'm also going to be in a safer position. If you remember, like Mrs. Patterson said, landing is really important too. We want to make sure that we land softly and quietly, and that we land with our knees over our toes again. All right, so we're going to do 5 jumps. I jump too high and I'm going to hit my ceiling if I jump too high. So if you can't jump super high, that's fine. But what I want you to do is I really want you to watch your knees. And we're going to go down, and we're going to jump, and we're going to cushion and make sure that our legs don't collapse. All right, so really watch to make sure your legs should stay underneath your shoulders the entire time. We're going to do this 5 times. Up. 1. Up. 2. 3 more. Up. I just almost hit my head. Whew, 2 more. Up. 1 more. Up. Good. All right. If you notice that you lost some control there, it's all right. Just something to work on. Other one for jumping is going to be side to side. If you jump to the side and you can't control your knee, that's when your body's going to keep falling to the side. There's a lot of muscles that we need to turn on. Our glutes have to turn on, our quads, our calves, everything has to turn on when we jump side to side. And we're going to practice doing that now. So I'm going to show you first. So I'm going to start off to the side. I'm going to jump onto my right foot, stick and hold, jump onto my left. I don't want you to worry about how far you jump. Start closer on each jump, and if that's really easy, then you can jump a little bit farther. We're going to do this 5 times each way. To the right, stick and hold. To the left, stick and hold. 1, hold. 2, 3. Ooh, lost my balance there. To the left. I wasn't focused. Gotta make sure I'm squeezing all my muscles. 4, 5, and 5. Great. So, I'm gonna catch my breath for a second there. It's really warm. Shouldn't have worn a sweatshirt. Those are all examples of ways that you can focus on learning to stabilize your knee. Okay? You have to engage all of the muscles in your leg. If we don't engage our muscles in our leg, that's how we start experiencing knee pain, ACL tears, and all of those types of injuries. So that's why it's really important that you focus on those small movements. Next, we are going to look at the spine. All right, the spine, we're thinking all the way up, especially in our lower spine. We need to be able to stabilize our core. So if, for example, I move my body forward and I'm holding something out in front of my body, I need to be able to resist that motion in my spine. I shouldn't have to arch my back to hold something, or I shouldn't have to bend my back down. I should be able to squeeze my core tight when I'm doing those type of movements. And so to help us practice this, we're going to go through, and I'm going to give you a couple different moves where we're going to try to resist rotation at our core to make sure that we can stabilize ourselves at our spine. And the way we stabilize our spine is by squeezing all of our muscles nice and tight. So to start off, we're going to do a regular plank. Arms will be out in front of us, legs will be behind us. If you're able to stabilize your spine well, you should be able to sit in this plank position without dropping your hips low or keeping your butt super high. All right, we want to make sure that we can squeeze that core nice and tight to keep everything safe. So we're going to hold a plank here for 20 seconds. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. So I'm thinking right now about squeezing my core as hard as I can. I'm thinking about pulling my elbows to my toes to my elbows. I'm pretending that if someone were to punch me in the stomach right now, I'd be squeezing so tight so it wouldn't hurt. 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right, we would consider that our simplest way of resisting movement at our spine, where we're just trying to hold a position, our body's not trying to move, we just want to be able to hold ourselves in space. The next one that we're going to do is going to be a bird dog. So I'm going to show you this first. You will be on your hands and knees, hands directly under your shoulder, knees under your hips. When I reach with my left arm, I'm going to extend my right leg, and then I'm going to bring them in, touch, and go back out. When I'm doing that move, my spine should not arch, my back shouldn't round. I should be able to stabilize my spine to keep it in that straight position. When we think about if we're keeping our back straight, that would be considered a neutral spine. So we want to stay in a neutral spine position here. I'm going to reach with my left arm and my right leg, and we're going to do that 5 times. All right, so squeeze those abs tight, reach with your left arm and right leg, come in nice and slow. That's 1, 2. So think about only my arm and leg are moving. My core is not moving at all. My back is not moving at all. 1 more. 5. Switching, this time reaching with my right arm and left leg. So I'm going to brace my core, keep everything tight, reach, come on in, 1. You might notice one side feels tighter than the other. That's okay, it's just something to work on. Really think about keeping that back flat. Back should never round. 1 more. Great, that's 5. All right. Gonna continue moving on here, making it a little bit more difficult. So for our spine to stabilize, let's say that I'm holding something really heavy off to the side, and I don't want my body to lean to the side, because if it leans to the side, that means I'm not doing a good job at stabilizing my spine. My spine wants to stay as straight as it can, because that's its most comfortable position, all right? So to do that, we're doing all these exercises to challenge our spine, and that's going to help engage all the muscles in our core. That's going to make us stronger and protect our spine better. This one is going to be shoulder taps. So I'm going to be in a push-up position. I'm going to tap my shoulder with my opposite hand. What our body wants to do to make this easy is we just want to rotate. But we want to practice resisting rotation. So you want to keep your body nice and flat and straight while reaching side to side. The closer your feet are, the harder this is going to be. So I'm going to get my hands underneath my shoulders. We're going to reach 5 times at each shoulder. Here we go. And go. 1, 1. So I'm really thinking here about not letting my body rotate. 1 more each. And 5. Good. Tougher position there because we're adding some more resistance, and that makes it a lot harder for us to stabilize our spine. Next up, I want you to lay on your back, and we're going to do a marching glute bridge. So how this works, you'll be getting up into a bridge position, and then you will lift one leg off the ground at 90 degrees. So you can see my leg still at 90 degrees. You are going to slowly march back and forth, and when we're doing this, I'm squeezing my abs tight, squeezing my glutes tight, because I don't want your back to rotate with you while you're marching. We got to work on stabilizing that spine by squeezing our muscles tight, and then we're just going to let our legs move. All right, we're going to do 5 each leg. Here we go. Up into the bridge, lift your left leg up in the air, squeeze that right butt cheek tight, squeeze those abs tight, and switch. 1, switch. 2, switch. 3, 4, 5, squeeze everything tight, makes it hard to talk. 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, so that takes us through the spine. So to recap, we've stabilized our knees, we've stabilized at the spine. Remember, to stabilize at the knee, we engage all of the muscles below our knee and above it. To stabilize at our spine, same idea. I was stabilizing my core, I was squeezing my butt, keeping all my muscles engaged so that way my spine could stay in that nice straight or neutral position. Last one that we have is going to be stabilizing at the shoulder. All right, when we reach overhead to grab something, in an ideal world, when I reach, only my arm should move. I shouldn't have to move my whole body to reach. If I'm reaching my whole body, that means my shoulder is not in a stable position. I should be able to move with my shoulder while letting it stay in place. When we get weak shoulders and we're not able to stabilize it, our whole arm moves, or when people throw things and they're not able to stabilize their shoulder, that's how we can get some injuries. So for stabilizing, we're going to practice a couple things here. First, we're going to start with arm circles. So I want you to stand up tall with your left arm. Let me show you first. You are going to reach your arm behind you, let it come up overhead, and then come down in front of you. When you are doing this, your shoulder should not come up near your ear. Keep your shoulder as far from your ear as you can, and just rotate your arm. If you're not able to do this, what it's going to look like is you're going to lift your whole shoulder, and you're going to move it all, but you're actually using your traps to help you do this motion, rather than just using your shoulder. So we're going to try to do this. We're going to do 5 circles forward on our left arm. So trying to keep your shoulder down. Go up, out in front. That's 1. Back, up, 2. Really think about keeping that shoulder as far from your ear as you can, and just let your arm go through that motion. 4 and 5. Now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to go backwards. 1, same thing, keeping my shoulder down. You might hear some cracking in your shoulder, that's okay. What you're doing is you're teaching your muscle to go through that whole range of motion. 1 more. And 5. Great. Switching arms here. I gotta make sure that I'm in between this so I don't hit my ceiling. All right, same thing with your other arm. Up. 1. You might notice one side has an easier time going through this motion than the other, and that's okay. Righties and lefties are going to experience different things just because we all use our shoulders differently. Different athletes are going to have different issues with their shoulders. 4. 1 more. 5. Same thing going backwards. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. Great. One thing I forgot to tell you was to grab a backpack. So grab one if you don't have one with some books in it. So for this next one, we have a bunch of small muscles in our shoulder. All right, we have this thing called the rotator cuff that you might have heard of, and that sits kind of in your back area underneath your shoulder. We have all these small muscles that connect into our shoulder, and we need those muscles to be strong because the better those muscles work, the healthier our shoulders will be. So to help us strengthen those muscles, we're going to grab our backpack here. You're going to hold it out in front of you with your arms out at 90 degrees. So I'm going to be holding this in this 90-degree position. Right now I'm holding the top of the backpack, and this feels pretty easy because my bag's pretty light. So I'm going to go ahead and hold the sides to make it a little bit tougher. All right, but what we're going to do is we're going to keep our chest tall, hold the bag out in front of us with our arms at 90 degrees, and we're going to hold this for 30 seconds. If your bag's heavy enough, you're going to start to feel a burn in the back of your shoulders, and that's okay. That's all of the small muscles working in your shoulder. All right, so we're going to go ahead, and we're going to do this for, let's say about 20 seconds. All right, here you go, and up. So I'm holding this, breathing. Really think about squeezing through your shoulders. So I'm not arching my back, squeezing my abs tight, keeping my body in a nice straight position here. Probably holding it a little high, so I'm going to hold it a little bit lower to stay at 90. We'll go for 5 more seconds. 4, 3, breathe, 2, and 1. Great way to work on those smaller muscles in your shoulder. Next, what we're going to do is, Like I said, a lot of small muscles in our shoulder. The stronger those are, the healthier our shoulder is going to be able to move. So you're going to lay down on the ground, and we are going to work on those small muscle movements. So how this works, I'm going to show you first. We're going to do I's, Y's, and T's, and we're going to start with I's. So how this is, I'm going to move down in case you're not in the camera. Okay. My head is going to be flat on the ground. Arms are out in front of me. I'm going to breathe in through my nose, breathe out, and I'm going to lift my thumbs up where I'm trying to keep my shoulders away from my ears. So when I'm doing this, I'm not lifting my whole body. I'm trying to just lift my shoulder. We're going to do this 5 times nice and controlled. All right, so lay down. Breathe in through your nose. Breathe out, lift, hold, down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Now we're going to let our arms go out on an angle here, and we are going to do Y's. Thumbs are up in the air. Everything else stays the exact same. Breathe in, out, up. 1, up, 2, up, 3, up, 4, up, 5. All right, we're going to do this one again because I bet a lot of us, we're shrugging our shoulders up near our ears. So I want you to think, pull your shoulders away from your ears and keep them there the entire time. So that way my shoulder is sitting in a good position. Here we go. So relax your shoulders, pull them down as far from your ears, and now we're going to lift. Up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. If that felt different, that's good. That means that you were actually making sure that your shoulder was sitting where it's supposed to. Last one, arms out by your side, thumbs up in the air. Same thing. Pull your shoulders away from your ears, hold it, now lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Hopefully you felt a burn. I know I did. All right. So to recap on what we did there, a slower workout today, but it's important that we take the time to really think about that mind-muscle connection so that we were able to move in a safer way. It's important that we can stabilize at our knee, through our spine, and through our shoulder. Like we said, stability is referring to our ability to control our muscles through movements that we do, whether just through regular life or through exercise. The better we can control our muscles, the safer we will be while we move. All right. Hope you all enjoyed that. Hope you have a great week this week. If you have any questions about stability, please let me know. And I look forward to working out with you next time. Thanks.